Garyvee up in the office, do-rag flapping, walking through corporate. Talks about ownership and leverage. 1,800 checks and shot out the beverage.
For example, Pokemon. If you read Crush It in 09, and you decided to build the blog, which later became the video blog, which later became the podcast around Pokemon. If you became the foremost Pokemon gal, and you just owned it, and you were just getting by, and you're trucking along, and then Pokemon Go comes out, the world would have walked into you instead of you walking to where the money is. Everybody who's listening right now is looking for trends. Oh, these spinners are cool. They're trying to walk to where the world is now, and by the time they get there, the world moved on. If you go to your thing and set a fucking flag on your thing, I genuinely believe that there's a lot of moments where the world comes to you. I can't answer that for you. Fear's holding you back. You know what you want to do. The only reason you're not doing it is because you're scared of doing what you actually want to do. Okay, so what are you scared of, failing?
Still being at the same place when my friends are at the next level.
Huge mistake. You don't want the same thing your friends want. So why the fuck do you care what they have? The fact that you're worrying about other people's accomplishments is already a losing formula. You need to get rid of that first, then you can focus on yourself. I am tired of people not starting and living their life on one very simple thing, which is they're worried about what other people think. Are you really not gonna live your life based on somebody's anonymous fucking icon feedback that you suck? They fucking suck. Please take the passion that is pouring out of my fucking face right now and run with it and go do something. 400 trillion to 1. When you understand that math, how can't you live your life? That's how rare it is to be a human being. Please squeeze the shit out of your one life. I'm like pumped. Go home, cut your loser friend, and go find a winner friend. Go somewhere. Confidence and hunger gets passed on to each other. Go audit your circle, add one more winner, decrease one more loser. Defense is short term. Offense, ironically, is long term. You only know when you're on the right path when the things that you want to be happening are actually starting to happen. And usually people give up before they happen, or they'll never get there, and it's extremely difficult to dissect, generally, very easy if you dissect deeply, right? I think a lot of people talk about luck, and when you're somebody like me, you work a lot and things of that nature, it's hard to accept luck, but there's no question things like being able to immigrate out of the Soviet Union or having a mother that is so insanely amazing, I didn't control that. You can't fake environment. So if you gather yourself with people who are from a certain cloth or have a certain hunger or have a certain point of view, very quickly that rubs off on you. Breaking your patterns is extremely difficult, but if you're unhappy with your situation, you've got to change a pattern.
No, you need to be you.
It's all I've got.
Yeah.
It's all I've got.
And you're the best at it.
I'm really, you know what's so funny to say about that? I really do think I'm really good at being me. And by the way, it's what I'm attracted to in others. When you're all the way you, people know it. When you're all the way you, people know it. It's important. The cliche terms are authenticity and other things of that nature. It's even beyond that. It's almost like being one with yourself. I never have any doubt about my intent, about how it ends up, and about the market adjusting. If I lose badly, I don't have any doubt that that's what should have happened. I respect the market as much as I respect myself, and then I adjust to the reality of it. The end, I didn't rush here at all. Everybody's been pushing me to Asia for fucking 5, 7, 9 years. I'm like, it'll come when I feel like it's time to come.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's it. And if I came 6 months earlier, it would have been too early because it wouldn't have felt natural. And if I never came, I would never come. The only thing I care about in the world is consumer attention. I basically consume no content except those football games on Sunday. I watch all consumer behavior. I watch what they react to. I often look at big data and try to analyze it, but normally I rely on my intuitive nature. And most of all, I'm completely unemotional about what's actually happening. If it is a threat to what I'm doing, then that makes me happy, not upset, because I'd much rather put myself out of business than have somebody else do it for me.
Because I see a lot of people asking on Twitter, can you build a successful company without working 24 hours a day?
Of course you can. 100% I think you can. I just think that most people aren't talented enough to not work a lot, so I'm scared that people think they can work 5 hours and build a successful company. Yeah. But like Jason Fried and like 37 Signals, like all automated, there's a lot of ways to win. I absolutely believe that's the case. I'm a fan of working hard if you want the audacity to have a business that pays for your entire livelihood.
Yeah.
I feel like it's controllable. Karma is practical. I love how people think karma is like this weird thing. Doing good for other people is a good strategy. Like I've been like trying to, I'm like, why does this thing even exist? It's actually the most common sense thing of all time. Why does karma seem weird? The fuck is karma? Like, wait a minute, so you're telling me like, if you do lots of good things, that weirdly good things happen to you? Yeah, that seems like common sense. And so it's taken me 20 years or so to figure out, oh shit, this is just about long-term versus short-term. This is just that the far majority of the world wants to trade in the moment for the quick ROI, and that if you can hold your breath and you're historically correct and you understand what's actually gonna happen, you can win every time. The level of disruption that is coming is extraordinary. When I think about how vulnerable the Nikes and the Under Armours are because of cool kids on Instagram, it sounds subtle and funny, but everything that fucks you in the end sounds funny and subtle in the beginning.
Give us 3 rules to be successful.
Self-awareness is number 1. You have to know who you are. If you do not know who you are, you'll play a game that doesn't benefit you. Empathy. I think that the more I think about my life, I think my real deep intuitive nature of being empathetic has never allowed me to be disappointed. And then number 3 is the one thing that I think is unbelievably controllable is work ethic. I just don't know anybody who's ever really made it for themselves. And I want to inspire entrepreneurs. There's a lot of 18, 16, 22, 24-year-old people who think you have to fake it till you make it, who think that you have to kill the other guy to get yours. There's so much for everybody. I want my legacy to be that I just built the biggest building in town, and I want to inspire up-and-coming entrepreneurs to be kind people and assassins and killers in building their business. I don't think people realize, no matter what you're doing, if you're at 0 and you're in the middle of nowhere, or you're a trillion and on a high rise in New York, you've got your perspective. Like there's a lot of people, right? Like you've got your perspective, and you just need to own that. Like I got nothing, I live with this, but this is how I see it. I have immigrant parents from India, this is how we see culture. Like you never know, like everybody's doubting themselves instead of thinking about, what do I have? I have my perspective. I have my ear to the streets in this little block. This is what I know. And so everybody's just sitting right now listening about what they're not instead of realizing what they are. For me, it's gratitude. I'm super grateful, man. Like, I was born in a shit place, got out of Russia when nobody was getting out, right? Like, got lucky, like, I'm grateful. Like, if I wake up and everybody in my family is alive, I'm so fucking fired up. I don't watch shit. I don't listen to shit. I'm just like, I'm so grateful. You need to be aware of when you have your big opportunities. You need to squeeze so fucking hard when you've got that moment. You have to understand that shit will always change. If it's terrible right now, it's going to get better. If it is phenomenal right now, it is going to get worse. That is just the way it's always been. I'm not smart, it's just fucking history. It's about timing. Recognize your moments and strike. That has absolutely been the foundation of my success, whether it was selling my baseball cards when I just felt it, whether it was the internet itself, whether it was other things like starting VaynerMedia when I had all these other opportunities, but I wanted to triple down on my strengths during this golden era. Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're taking a step back in theory, but it's all about knowing when to go all in. And the one thing we get is regret when we didn't squeeze our best opportunity. So when you're a football player at USC, that is a big time fucking opportunity because most of you don't go to the league and most of you aren't successful in the league, and this is your apex. And whether you're a manager in a store right now, whether you're a great student in high school, whether you're awfully pretty right now, but you know you're not gonna be as pretty one day. I'm being serious now. I know this is silly shit, but when you have your best situation, when you have the fucking leverage, you need to fucking strike. And when you don't pout. You put in the work to rebuild your next leverage. I had YouTube, I had Twitter, and when they weren't as big anymore, I didn't cry that Instagram or Snapchat came. I put in the work to build myself back up and matter in that ecosystem, and now that I've got the Instagram moment again, I'm fucking pounding. I'm pounding harder than I did the last time because I learned, because from pattern recognition, from experience, you get better. And so, if this can inspire you, if your shit's good right now, quadruple down, and if it's not, stay quiet and build and look for that moment when you know it's good, pound, because squeezing when you have the opportunity is the key.